I'm Superphiz from the ETH Staker community, and this is State of the Stake 42 on March 8th, 2021. State of the Stake is a kind of a video thing that I do every couple days when I get froggy to talk about advances in the Ethereum 2 beacon chain network and just kind of progress toward our growth as a community. I'm Superphiz, and I work in the ETH Staker community with a couple of my friends, Nolan, Patricio, Enan, and Michael, who helps me produce this video. Today I had a really exciting thought, and I just wanted to share it. It's funny because, like any good thought, I've probably said this 10 times before, but I didn't know what I was saying, and it has just come together for me. I want to talk about the 4 features that I'm looking for in a staking pool and that I hope you'll join me in looking for. One of the things you may not know is that as the community, we exert a lot of power over what staking providers give us. And so if we settle for the least, they will give us the least. If we demand more, if we tell our friends to demand more, then staking pools will need to up their game in order to meet the needs of the community. And so I want to talk about 4 features of a staking pool that we as the community should expect, and more so that we should go out into the world and say, hey, as an Ethereum staking entity, these are things that we want, and as a community, we're not going to accept less. With this said, I want to add a few things before I get started. I am a fan of some of the pools that exist now, either because I've talked to the operators or I think they're neat. Even though I wouldn't really send my funds right now, I think that they are honest operators. And so in regards to them, I think that they should make steps toward reaching these 4 goals. That doesn't mean you should never use them. It means that I expect to see them over the next few months and years pivot until they really take on these 4 conditions. The second thing I want to point out is that these 4 conditions that I'm setting up run parallel to what the Ethereum Due Diligence Committee is doing. This is not a crash into the Ethereum Due Diligence Committee. This is a parallel with the Ethereum Due Diligence Committee. So their vetting is very important for checking boxes for minimum standards of solvent business. What I'm talking about are philosophy type ideas that we should strive for as a community. So when you're looking at the Ethereum Due Diligence Committee, you're looking at, is this node operator acting in good faith? Yes or no? When you're looking at my 4 questions, you're looking at, does this pool honor the philosophy of a decentralized beacon chain staking network? So they're different things. They can be complementary, they can be parallel, but I just want to point out that I'm not in conflict with the EDDC. As a matter of fact, if you know, I'm an observer there, so no intention to conflict. So here are my 4 questions. Is the pool decentralized? That question means, do the validators run in homes around the world in some way so that they're not running on a server on AWS in a colo or managed very closely by a business? And what I can say right now is almost every staking pool that I'm aware of is centralized. They are managing staking nodes on behalf of customers. That's a model that should change in the future. I know that secret shared validators will help support that, and I really look forward to staking pools putting hardware back in the hands of people and getting it out of data centers. That is the way for the network to remain the most redundant over the long term. My second question: is your staking pool software open source? So, and it's funny, like, this is not a new idea. We saw open source staking pool operations back with ETH1 mining. And there are still, you can download and run staking, mining pool software that's open source. And what I'm looking for from staking pool operators are that their code is open source and redistributable. Now, some people are going to say, that's our business model. Well, that's okay, because I'm not here for companies to make money off of stakers. I'm here for stakers to decentralize the network through staking. And so that brings us to this high standard of only choosing to stake with pools where they are running open source and vetted software. The third question is it trustless? Does the pool operator ever have access to user funds? And so essentially that means that, let's say I'm a node operator and I'm going to stake, but first I'm going to set up a web interface and I need you to send me all of your coins, and then I'm going to stake them for you. And after the merge, I'm going to let you withdraw them back. The risk with that is that, number one, that site or that operator could be hacked. Number two, that site or that operator could take your funds and leave with them. The most actual likely thing is number three, that site operator is going to be claimed to have been hacked and then run away with your coins. So if there's ever a chance that a service has control over your coins, then it is not a service I would recommend. There are currently two ways that I can think of that minimize operator control over your coins. That is staking with smart contracts and the new withdrawal to ETH1 address that's been added to the ETH2 spec, and with secret shared validators, where you can keep keys on your machine and sign remotely. So both of those technologies support trustless architecture of staking pools, and as users, we should demand that and not blindly give a pool our keys, our coins, and hope they come back to us. Because while I hope they do, chances are there's going to be some mishap, and I don't want you to be a part of that. And it's not really just fear, it's good practice. In good practice, we need to hold everyone to a high standard, and that standard is trustlessness. We are in cryptocurrency. We don't need to trust people. And the fourth question I want to ask from every pool is, who benefits most from the offering? If a company, a person is the primary beneficiary of these staking rewards, then I'm not a fan. What I'm looking for are public goods. These are platforms where the developers do have the potential to make some reward, but not the idea where a group of investors or a company is cleaning house by collecting, 10% from every validator. That's not the things that I'm looking for. What I'm looking for are pools that give back to the community, that enrich the community, that pay the people who are doing the staking with the funds that are collected by people who need staking done. And I know that's an achievable model, and I'm really excited about seeing it done. Now, after having gone through all of these, I'm not here to choose favorites. It's not my job as the Beacon Chain Health Coordinator to choose favorites. My job is really to encourage everyone to meet this standard. So when I'm looking at pools, when I'm talking to people, what I want to do is encourage every pool, every operator to reach for this standard, and I want to encourage every user to demand this kind of infrastructure before they select a pool. When you give your staking funds to a pool that doesn't meet these criteria, you may think you're benefiting yourself, but by weakening the network, you're actually weakening the value of your Ether. Ether is strong, it's going to be successful no matter what we do, but we as a community have a need to act in our own best interest, and that's by following these 4 practices. Is it decentralized? Is it open source? Is it trustless? And who is the biggest beneficiary from the offering? Any pool that can answer those 4 questions correctly is one that I'm ready to vouch for. And I really hope that we see 3, 4, or 5 of these pools within the next year. Thanks for your time today. Hey, I wanted to send one shout out. I feel like this community would really not be possible if it weren't for the efforts of my dear and close friend, Toucan Spam. Toucan has done so much to enrich and brighten this community, and he really is the cornerstone of success that brings us all together. I'm saying it because I mean it. Thanks. Have a great day.